The population of the United States is about 360 million. 360 million. Well, since 500,000 is only 500,000, we need to increase it. If there was 1,000,000 homeless people per capita, that would mean that we have to take 360 and we need to double that too. 360 plus 360 is, of course, 720. So the homeless population in 2019, accounting for 1/720th of the United States population, accounted for 49% of those killed by police, accounted for 81% of those incarcerated nationwide. 81%. And I'm showing you why. When you're homeless, nobody cares. Not Caitlin Tatum. Christopher Weaver. No, nobody cares. And they want to tell you about their shortage of resources, but they don't want to listen to yours. They want to tell you about all the reasons they can't. They don't want to listen to any of the stuff that you're going through. There are more hate crimes against the homeless than all other hate crimes combined in the United States. Against all other groups combined times 5. That's right. 1/720th of the population. The most victimized people in the country. And then you throw the worst predators in the country out on our streets with us and pretend we're all those guys. You get to see, if you bother taking a look through this, that evidence didn't matter. What mattered is that I was homeless and they could capitalize on that. What matters is they could call me mentally ill and they could capitalize on that. And that's how they got away with doing these things to me and to many others. As a male, I am far more likely to get killed by the police. As a disabled person, I am far more likely to get killed by the police. But as a homeless person, the numbers are astronomical. Because you guys will make all the excuses in the world. Even BLM doesn't give a shit about black homeless people. MMIW looks away from homeless Native women who are missing. The police won't take a report from the homeless. We don't matter. They only care if you care, and you don't. You give us pretty words. If this happened to anybody in your family, what would you do? Would you give them those pretty words? Would you say, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know? No, if it was somebody you actually cared about, you'd look it up. You would find out. Instead of arguing with them like an asshole. Arguing with the victim, that's not going to gain you any trust. What that's going to do is just show your quality of content and your quality of character, which is to say you have none. The homeless are the most victimized people in America because you don't care. And I've shown you hundreds and hundreds of examples of people who, yeah, they knew I was telling the truth, but they didn't even try coming forward about it. They didn't even try. I'm not going to shut up. You can't make me shut up. You'll have to put a bullet in my head to shut me up. You will have to put me in the ground to shut me up. Maybe you guys should take a look at the evidence and find out what was going on. You guys want to judge me as if I made all this stuff up and just magically one day I was just this crazy person who just streaming about nothing. And then you want to tell me we can't judge an entire group, yet the police judge us as an entire group. The general public judges us as an entire group. I guess your brother is a junkie who sold all your mom's tools to get meth. That's your brother. That's not all homeless people. By the way, that was Matt Worley, and he never ended up homeless. His family took care of him, even knowing that he was strung out on meth and stealing their things and selling them for his addictions. Cost his mom a lot of money, but his mom still loved him. I still love my mom despite the fact that she's my Matt Worley. Always has been. You guys victimize the most victimized people in the country, and then you give them token help, where you get to pretend like you did something. No, you need to fess up to your part. You need to fess up to your part in this. We can't make the world a better place unless we're willing to admit where we screwed up, where we made mistakes. Most of these folks that committed crimes against me, they were just misdemeanors until they tried to hide them. The moment they started trying to cover it up, they advanced to greater crimes. But, obviously, with most of the murderers against us, it's because nobody cares. It's because the police don't care. They're just as likely to shoot us as anybody else. More likely, matter of fact. A guy in Chicago that was walking around shooting homeless people at random while they were sleeping. And those folks who threw the firebomb on that black homeless man right after a BLM rally. What did BLM have to say about that? How much are they speaking about that? No, we can only admit that it happened if it's a white person doing it to a black person. Everything else we have to ignore. That's racism. What we've got going on is systemic racism. Just because somebody's white doesn't mean they can't be the victim. Just because somebody is a male doesn't mean they can't be the victim. Just because somebody is disabled doesn't mean that they're the predator. Matter of fact, it makes them the most likely to be victimized because they're the least likely to be heard. I'm a disabled homeless male. I am at the top bracket of every goddamn thing. My fears are absolutely legitimate. 1/720th the population. And there are more hate crimes against us than all other hate crimes against all other groups in America combined, times 5. 1/720th of the population accounts for what? 49% of those killed by police in 2019. I'm angry at this entire country. Not the land, obviously, but the people living on it. The selfishness, the cruelty, the excuses. As long as you get yours at the end of the day, who cares about everybody else, right? The Constitution of the United States does not start off with every man for himself. It doesn't start off with every woman for himself or herself. It doesn't start off with every person for themselves. It starts off with we the people. We the people of the United States of America, in order to create a more perfect union. Well, more perfect would denote that it is perfect already, and if it's perfect already, there is no way to make it more perfect. The idea that they're trying to get at there is that we are to strive for perfection, even though we are not perfect beings. Using the excuse that you're not Jesus. It's a horrible excuse. Saying, oh, well, things are worse elsewhere, that's a horrible excuse, too. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind. Not even the ones that you deem not worthy of listening to because they're not the right gender, not the right color, not the right social class. This is not the right social climate. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. That is not fucking complicated. If I see somebody in Hood River punching Jamie in the back of the head, I'm going to say something. Matter of fact, I did.